Good evening, everyone, and welcome to OET Listening Prowess. This is me, 𝐎𝐿𝐬𝐿 𝐋𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐞𝐧𝐢𝐬𝐭, joining you from Needless Academy. Yes, we've come with yet another OET Listening Live to help you with your listening. We come here on all Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Okay, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. we'll be here with OET Listening Prowess, and we share different materials and we explain how the particular answer became the answer of that question, and if it is part B or part C, how we can eliminate the other options, and all those things will be mentioned here. When talking about listening, you know that practice is very important. And a lot of students had actually asked me about script writing, and I promised that I would be explaining it to you someday, and last time we did not have time for it. So now I'll be explaining that to you in detail. What is the script writing? So this is one of the techniques we can use to improve our listening skill. What do we do here? So you take an audio or you take a video, you play it. That should be English video or audio, and preferably something that's related to the medical field, or something that's related to consultation, where there is a patient and a doctor. So such videos are available online, so you can search one such videos, or you can use the materials that you're practicing in your classes. Okay, so in your classes you'll be practicing things, you can use that, or the materials that you use to practice, that material can be used, whichever material. All that you need is an audio where you have a consultation and where you have a doctor and a patient. Okay, that audio has to be taken and you play the audio. So what we usually do is, when we're watching a video or an audio, we listen to it. Okay, we hear it. Sometimes we just hear it, sometimes we listen to it, and we do that. But here what you're going to do is, you're going to listen to it in such a way that you will be copy them down, or you'll be able to write it down on a piece of paper. So for example, in the audio they're saying sky is blue, or in the video they're saying sky is blue. So you will listen to that part and you will write it on your book. So if it's a conversation, so you will listen to the audio till the part you're able to store in your mind. For example, if it is like two sentences, just listen to the two sentences and write it down on that book. Then pause the video and write it down. Maybe it will be 3 sentences. Some people have the ability to restore or to store 3 sentences in their mind, and they'll be able to reproduce that onto that piece of paper. They'll be able to write it down on that piece of paper. Some people might be just able to listen to 1 sentence. Whichever it is, you have to go with your own ability, your own pace. I've had students ask me how long should I listen to, and how much should I listen to before I copy it down, before I write down the answers. So this is what I tell them. It all depends on your ability, your capacity. Some students have the ability to listen to 2-3 sentences, so those students can do that, listen to 2-3 sentences and remember them and write it down. Some other students would only have 1 sentence, but whatever it be, always try to improve it. If at first you were able to remember only 5 words, just try to improve your focus. If you're able to remember more and more, that shows your focus, that shows your ability to remember things, and that would help you very much with your listening. So first listen to the sentences. If you're able to listen to just first sentence, 1 sentence, then pause it, then come back, write it. Then again play the video or audio, then come back and write it. So at the end, or by the end, you should have a script of that video or that audio with you. Okay, that is the intention. So here what is actually happening is, you're very attentively listening to the audio, and that improves your listening ability, and that also improves your capacity and stamina in listening to things, and that improves your patience, that improves your focus. Oftentimes what happens is, see, we all have an attention span that is mostly limited to 40 minutes. So that happens when we that is applicable when we're talking about a class or a conversation. But here what is happening is, and during a class or during a conversation, even if you miss some points, it's fine. I mean, you just have to know the overall meaning of it. But here you are also being tested for the minute details as well. So it's important that you have this stamina throughout the audio. You have the stamina to listen to 40 minutes audio or 30 minutes audio, and you have this focus throughout the audio. So in order to develop, in order to work on that focus, this type of practice will definitely help, because you're doing this where if you have to copy it down, you have a task to do. If you have to write something down, you have to listen to it that carefully. It is not like you're listening to a lecture or an interview and then going, because there you don't have to write each and every word, but here you have to write each and every word. So you'll be listening to the pronunciation, the way it is said, the modulation of the sound, everything will be given some attention to. So after writing a bit, for example, if on the first day you were only able to do it for 5 minutes, that's fine. Do it for 5 minutes. If you're starting it, if you have done before, if you haven't tried it before, just do it. If you're doing it for the first time, just do it for 5 minutes. Okay, don't stress yourself and don't make yourself do a lot of work and hate it. So just do it for 5 minutes and check if it is correct. How do you check it? So most of the time subtitles are available. Sometimes even some words in the subtitles would be wrong. So it would be great if you can go for audios that already provide the script, because you'll already have a script with you and then you'll be able to write it. Even if you don't have a script, that's fine. You can look at the subtitles and that would actually give you almost, I would say, 90% of the words. So you'd be able to make it out somehow. So you will at least have 90% of the words, and that is perfectly fine. So basically, we have to improve your focus and how you're able to listen to the words and write it down. Okay, because, and this would help you very much in your listening, trust me, because you're doing the same thing in listening. You're listening to each and every word in the audio. Especially for part A, you have this filling the blank. So you'll be listening to the remaining part and one word from that is missing, and that is what you have to write down, right? So if you're able to listen very carefully to the audio and understand the whole part, and if you're able to spot that one word, then you're getting marks. So you're doing the similar thing here, but in a more vigorous way. So that is actually helping you with this listening. So this is called as script writing. There are other techniques that you can work with, but I would say this is the most effective technique. I've had students come and tell me, like, I always tell them to try this. I always ask them to watch GP videos or some kind of things like that, and then I tell them, you do this and come to the class. All right, I tell them you can do the script writing with GP videos, GPs behind closed doors. You can just type it on YouTube and you'll be able to find it. You can do it with those videos or the materials that you practice, the OET materials that you practice. Their audios are also available online, so you can use their audios and you can do it. So I tell them, you do it and you come back. So the next day when they come to the class, they tell me, I can see the improvement, Hannah. That's what they tell me. So this really works, and you have to try me, and you should also let me know how it worked for you, if it worked really well for you. Okay. And we have a few people joining us. Josie Joseph, good evening. Joycey Jose, good evening. Lima Thomas, good evening. So happy to see you all here. And now, coming to the business, the real business. So what we'll be doing is, you know that we play the audio and we'll show you the questions on the screen, and you will have to write down the answers, and after which we'll show the questions on the screen for some time so that you can write it down or take a screenshot of it. After which the answers will be discussed with the help of audio script. So here, so this live itself, you can take this live for your script writing. Okay, take this audio that I'm showing in this live and then try to write them, and then at last you can check if what you've written is correct with the help of the audio script that I've provided here. That would be very helpful. I'm actually showing you the exact audio script. Okay, I'm showing you what you hear in the audio. So you have an audio script here, so don't look at it first. Try to write it on your own and then come back and check it with the audio script available. So then we'll be discussing the answers with the audio script, and I'll show you the whole answers. So while we're discussing it, you'll already know the answers, but I'll show the answers once again. So first what will happen is the questions will be displayed on the screen and the audio will be played. So I'll show the material now on the screen, and I have few more people joining. Anas Joes, good evening. Good evening, Anas. Sharmila, good evening, Sharmila. So happy to see you all here, and I hope you're all doing good. So now the audio will be played and the questions will be shown on the screen.
Extract 2, questions 13 to 24. You hear an optometrist talking to a patient called Marsha Samarina. For questions 13 to 24, complete the notes with a word or short phrase.
Hi, Marsha Samarina. I'm Dr. 𝐎𝐿𝐲. I understand that you've been experiencing some issues with your left eye.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, are you able to tell me a bit about what's been happening?
Yeah, sure. So last Friday was our office party, and so I was out quite late, and I'd had a couple of glasses of wine. Anyway, when I came home, I must have been a bit reckless taking out my contact lenses. I didn't notice anything then, but when I woke up in the morning, I had this pain in my left eye. It felt like there was something stuck in it. Also, I had a headache. I'm not sure if that's because I was straining my eyes. My eye was also watering loads, and it was kind of like what happens when you chop up onions. Anyway, I thought I'd just sort of keep blinking, and whatever was in my eye would work its way out. So, well, I did that for a bit, but I was getting more and more worried. I went to ask my roommate if she could see anything in my eye, and she said my eye was swollen and she thought we should go to the hospital and get it checked out. So we went to the ED, and thankfully my roommate was able to get the day off work, so she drove me there. Oh, the pain was also so terrible that I couldn't concentrate. I don't know what I would have done without her help.
Ah, okay. So what happened when you went to the hospital?
So we waited around at the ED for a bit, and then I was seen by a GP. I told him about the pain and how I thought I had something stuck in my eye, so he opened my eye and tried to see if there was anything in there that shouldn't be. It must have been quite difficult for him to see anything, so he did a fluorescein eye stain test. Then he took me to a dark laboratory room to look into my eyes with one of those microscope things. And when he still couldn't find anything, he seemed to think it could be an infection. And that's when I started panicking.
Okay. And after that, were you referred to an optometrist?
Oh, yes, that's right. They sent me to this department after that, and the optometrist used some numbing eye drops on me. I was incredibly thankful to her for that. My eyes felt better very soon afterwards. And then she looked at my eye, and because I wasn't squinting from the pain anymore, she could see that there was a corneal abrasion. She said that I must have scratched it when I took my contacts out the night before.
I see. So can you tell me how you've been treating your eye at home?
Yes, she told me not to wear my contact lenses until this follow-up, and she prescribed me a couple of things. I'm using the antibiotic eye drops she gave me. I put those in the mornings and evenings, and the other thing she gave me is really horrible to use. It's a healing ointment, but it feels gross in my eye, so I just use it once a day. Unfortunately, they couldn't give me any of their pain relief to take home, so I've just been taking ibuprofen when it hurts.
And how's your eye feeling now?
Oh, much better, thanks. It still hurts when there's bright light, though, and I wasn't sure if that was normal. The optometrist said it would take quite a while to heal, so I guess I need to hang on a bit longer.
Yes, at this point it will most likely still be recovering. Do you mind if I take a close look at your eye now? If you can just take your glasses off.
Okay, so how was the material? I think it was an easy material. It was part A extract 2. We had done part A extract 1 in the previous live, so I showed you part A extract 2. And part A is usually, sometimes it's tough, but sometimes it's easy. And this was an easy one, easy peasy one. And I wanted to consider beginners as well, and those who are just starting to do their listening practice. I wanted to give them some confidence, a feeling that they'll be able to do. And this would be a practice for students who are doing it for the first time. And for who have done many practices. So basically, you know what to do. What is the drill with part A? You read the questions, you underline the keywords, and during the time when you're reading the question, you anticipate what the answer would be, and you look for the keywords in the audio, and then you write the answers. Okay, so minor spelling mistakes would be accepted. It's just that you shouldn't be making like mistakes in such a way that it changes the meaning totally. So now what I'll do is I'll show the questions on the screen for some time so that you can copy them down, or you can take a screenshot and keep with you, so that it would be easy for you to just have a look at it while I'm discussing the answers. Yes, you're able to see the questions on the screen. Extract 2, questions 13 to 24. Copy it down. For questions 13 to 24, complete the flowing notes with a word or short phrase. You don't have to write that. You now have 30 seconds to look at the notes. So during the 30 seconds, you'll be anticipating the answer. You'll be anticipating what the answer would be, and you will be reading the questions and underlining the keywords. And when the audio is being played, you will look for those keywords and their synonyms actually, and write the answers. Okay. And you should always give attention to the heading. Here it is, description of initial symptoms, right? Description of initial symptoms. Hi Dinesh Verma, good evening. Arunima Rajanamus, good evening. So happy to see you all here. Yes, so description of initial symptoms. It's very important that you read that heading, and so that you'll have an idea about what will be discussed in that part. Okay, you will get a complete idea about what will be discussed there, or what to expect. Pain in eye, first bullet point, pain in eye, felt like something was dash 13 blank. Next one, next bullet point, noticed headache. Next bullet point, I was 14 blank profusely. Profusely means in large amount. Bracket, compares to chopping onions. Next bullet point, right? Roommate noticed that. Roommate noticed that I was 15 blank, comma, took to ER, or ED you could write. Next bullet point, pain was severe, comma, unable to 16 blank. Next heading, initial GP treatment. Initial GP treatment. First bullet point, unable to identify cause, comma, performed 17 blank test. Next bullet point, GP suggested possibility of 18 blank. Next heading, optometrist treatment. Optometrist treatment. First bullet point, given 19 blank for pain relief. Next bullet point, eye exam showed 20th question blank. Next one, at home treatment. At home treatment heading. So you know that when you hear at home treatment, you have to expect things related to that in the audio. First bullet point, advised to avoid wearing contacts. Okay. Next one, prescribed colon. Next line, 21 blank using twice daily, and 22 blank less often, comma, finds application unpleasant. (23) also taking, put 23 blank for pain relief. Below that, next heading, current condition. First bullet point, condition has improved. Condition has improved. Pain caused by 24 blank. Pain caused by 24 blank. So I hope you copied the questions or took a screenshot of it, and now we'll discuss the answers. Let's look at the first question. What's the first question? Description of initial symptoms. Initial symptoms. Initially, what all things happened? Okay. Pain in eye, felt like something was. So pain in eye. So first in the audio, they will be talking about pain in eye. Okay. Now felt like something was. That is the keyword. Okay. And next bullet point is noticed headache. So we are going to look at the audio, listen for pain in the eye, and right after that they'll be talking about this part where they'll talk about felt like something was. Let's look at it. Okay. Now look at the notes for extract 2. Extract 2, questions 13 to 24. You hear an optometrist talking to a patient called Marsha Samarina. For questions 13 to 24, complete the notes with a word or short phrase. Doctor: Hi Marsha Reena, I'm Dr. 𝐎𝐿𝐬𝐿. I understand that you've been experiencing some issues with your left eye. Patient, yeah, that's right. Doctor, okay, are you able to tell me a bit about what's been happening? Patient, oh yeah, sure. So, last Friday was our office party and I was out quite late and I'd had a couple of glasses of wine. Anyway, when I came home, I must have been a bit reckless. Reckless is just careless and rough. Taking out my contact lenses. I didn't notice anything then, but when I woke up in the morning, I had this pain in my left eye. So pain in left eye, yes, they're talking about pain in left eye. So we'll be very careful, very attentive to the audio. Right after that, they'll be talking about felt like. I felt like there was something stuck in it. I felt like there was something stuck in it. Okay, what is the question? Felt like something was. So here it is given, I felt like there was something. So when you write the answer, you have to, I always tell this to my students. This is a common mistake that students make. They write an answer that don't go well with the sentence. And if an answer doesn't go well with the sentence, that means that answer is wrong. For example, if there is this question in one of the materials that goes like this. To dash, form and join up. Okay, to dash. And here, a lot of students write a singular answer. Okay, the answer is blisters. So some of them actually wrote blister. That answer is wrong because look at the sentence. To dash, form and join up. So if they've given to, it's understood that it is plural. So you have to write blisters. Then form and join up is also given. So there if you write a blister, then it is wrong. If you write blister, it's wrong. So similarly, here also when you listen to the audio, here it is not singular plural case, but what I was trying to say was that when you listen to the audio, it might seem like it wouldn't match with it, but write it in a way that it matches. For example, here it is easy. If you look at the sentence structure, in the audio they're saying, it felt like there was something stuck in it. Okay? Felt like something was. Felt like something was stuck in it. So, if you write felt like something was stuck, that is also correct. That is not wrong. That is also correct. Okay? Felt like something was stuck in it. Okay? If you write stuck alone, then your answer is correct. If you write stuck in it, then also it is correct. So, here 13th one. Yes, Denin Dibin, good evening. Jincy Joseph, good evening. Hello guys. So 13th one, what is the answer? Stuck. Stuck. Okay. Now look at noticed, next point is noticed headache. I was dash profusely compares to chopping onions. Profusely means a large amount, compares to chopping onions. So it could be something like a burning sensation or something, you have to anticipate something like that. Okay, we'll look at 15 also. Roommate noticed that I was dash took to ER. So roommate noticed. Roommate noticed I was took to ER. I was dash profusely. Let's look at it. My eye was also watering loads, and it was kind of like what happens when you chop up onions. So look at this. My eye was also watering lots, that means profusely. I was watering profusely, so loads, synonym. So I've told you, you have to look for the keywords and look at the keywords, and you have to underline the keywords and look for their synonyms in the audio. Here the keyword was profusely. I was dash profusely. I was profusely. So here watering is the answer for 14th question. Okay. Kind of like when compares to chopping up onions. Anyway, I thought I would just sort of keep blinking and whatever was in my eye would work its way out. So well, I did that for a bit, but I was getting more and more worried. I went to ask my roommate if she could see anything in my eye, and she said my eye was swollen. So went to roommate and found that eye was swollen. What is the 15th question? Roommate noticed that I was dash. Went to my roommate and she said, that means she noticed I was swollen. So I was swollen and she took her to the emergency department. Hi Christina Varghese, good evening. And she thought we should go to the hospital and get it checked out. So we went to ED and took her to the ED. And thankfully my roommate was able to get a day off work, so she drove me there. So the roommate drove her there. Now let's look at 16th question. Pain was severe, unable to. The pain was so severe and she was unable to. Let's look at the remaining part. So we went to the ED and thankfully my roommate was able to get the day off work, so she drove me there. The pain was also so terrible. The pain was severe. Severe, that is a word used in the question, but in the audio they're using the word terrible. That I couldn't concentrate. Couldn't is used, and in the audio they're using the word, in the question the word used is unable. Unable to concentrate. So concentrate is the answer for 16th question. I don't know what I would have done without her help. Now we'll look at the 17th and 18th question. Unable to identify cause. Performed dash test. So here, initial GP treatment. Initial GP treatment. You should keep that in your mind. Initial GP treatment. Okay, so you should look for that in the audio. Unable to identify cause. So performed. So for cause, what is the synonym? Reason can come. So they would mention, they would use that word in the audio. Performed. Okay, dash test. GP suggested possibility of something. So initial GP treatment, we'll look at that part. Okay, so what happened when you went to the hospital? Patient. So we waited around at the ED for a bit, and then I was seen by a GP. Yes, initial GP treatment. I told him about the pain and how I thought I had something stuck in my eyes. So he opened my eyes and tried to see if there was anything in there that shouldn't be. It must have been quite difficult for him to see anything. So, difficult to find the cause or unable to identify cause. So, performed. So it must have been quite difficult for him. Unable to identify the cause. I think there's a technical glitch. Okay, there's a bit of a technical glitch. I hope you guys will bear with us. We'll discuss the answers anyways, all right? So it was, it must have been quite difficult for him to see anything. So he did a fluorescein eye stain test. Okay, so when you hear the word, you may not have heard this word before, and you may not have an idea about what this is. So what you would do is, you would just write fluorescein, okay, in your own words. Like, you would find your own letters for it and you would write it. Why am I telling you this? Because sometimes it could be correct, and sometimes like minor spelling mistakes would be accepted. Only if you make major mistakes that you would lose your marks. Only if you make mistakes in a way that the meaning is affected, you would lose marks. So if you're really good at listening, you'll be able to write something from what you hear. So with these type of words, even if you don't know the word, just try to write it. But if you found these words while practicing, definitely learn the spelling of that test, all right? Because you know what, if it comes for the exam, it would be really to answer. So we'll do one thing. I'll say the answer, I'll dictate the answer. Since we have a technical glitch, I'll tell you the answer for all the questions. I'll show you the answers and we'll call it a day. So these are the answers. If you want, you can take a screenshot of it or keep it with you. So I'll read out the answers and I'll stop it. 13th one, stuck in it. 14, watering. 15, swollen. 16, concentrate. 17, fluorescein eye stain. 18, infection. 19, numbing eye drops. Even if you write eye drops, your answer will still be correct. 20, corneal abrasion. 21, antibiotic eye drops. 22, healing ointment. 23, ibuprofen. And 24, bright light. So I hope you're able to see the spelling on the screen. So we'll wind up for this day. We'll meet you on next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Thank you.